Hello, this is Heidi Ellsworth with Roofers Coffee Shop. I told you we'd be right back, and here we are. I am sitting with Danny Kerr, Breakthrough Academy. Breakthrough Academy. I bet there's some people out there wondering what Breakthrough Academy is, Danny, and maybe you could introduce yourself a little bit so that they all get to know you like I have.
Sure, yeah. We've essentially built an organization that's committed to roofing, landscaping, painting, and renovations. So we're in those busy silos. Everybody we work with is growing out of control. So they've all got more work coming in they can handle. They're trying to hire people. They're trying to maintain profitability. They're trying to build processes and basically get the business to a point where the owner can step a little bit more out of the day-to-day.
Right.
So our job essentially is to step in and insert the management process that allows that to happen. And I think everyone in the industry right now is building that themselves in their own little corner. And we're bringing that together. We're crowdsourcing everything, and we're allowing it to be a hell of a lot easier. So the best way I've been able to describe us is we're kind of like a franchise system that you can be a part of, but you never have to buy a franchise, but you get all the insights, tools, templates, strategies that a franchise organization would give.
Everything. And I love your history, how you started out with college painting.
Yep.
Can you share that story? It's so cool.
Sure. Yeah. 18 years old. I was in university studying to be a police officer, actually, and I just felt like something was wrong because I just was like, I can't be an educated person the way everyone else is. My brain doesn't work that way. And I stumbled on something called College Pro Painters, which was essentially a student organization that allowed people to run their own small painting company. And the learning from that in 1 year was more than anything I'd learned in school since kindergarten. So I felt very connected to it, and I felt the hands-on learning was very good for me. I stayed with them for almost 10 years, and I went from running my own franchise to being a general manager of a province, to helping with recruitment and development of franchisees for Western Canada, where we had 150 franchises a year and over 1,000 painters a year. And so through my 20s, that was my upbringing. And I got brought into the contracting space, but from a standpoint of business. Whereas I think a lot of people come in from the standpoint of their profession. They're good roofers, they're good landscapers, that's what they do, and then they get brought into the business side, and it's this new thing. So when I left, what I saw was franchises are amazing for a lot of things. They tell you exactly how to do, how to be successful. They give you all the tools to do it. They give you the runway to get there. They give you accountability. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. But where they kind of suck is long term, you lock yourself into an agreement where you're paying royalties where you can't afford middle management. You might want to expand your turf and you have to buy more, or it's not available because it's been bought out
by someone else.
And so I was like, how do we take all the good things from what this franchise experience was for me and for the people I worked with, but get rid of the stuff that was, I'd say, toxic to a franchise model? And so we kind of, we looked at the coaching model, we looked at the online education model, we looked at the, everything in between, and we're like, how do we build our own thing? Yeah. And so we did.
You did.
And then we're here.
And there you are. And it's been hugely successful. How many contractors do you have?
We have 420 active companies right now, all being coached on a bi-weekly basis. It's about $1.2 billion in revenue that we're managing. And it's been really cool to watch. It's been really cool to see this whole thing kind of explode. And what comes out of it from the people that are in this is mind-boggling. I mean, I knew I wanted to make an impact, and I wanted to make money doing it and have some fun. And this is far beyond any expectations I had when we started this.
That is so awesome. So Breakthrough just came onto Roofers Coffee Shop this year. I was so fortunate to get introduced to them. We've just become friends. Last night we were dancing at the welcome party and the welcome party and the first timers. But what are you hearing from your contractors? Like, what are some of the pain points, and what are some of the things that you guys are really working through with them?
It's all HR, really. I mean, we talk a bit about sales, we talk a bit about marketing, but when it really comes down to it, it's like, how do I find good people, onboard them effectively, keep them, and develop them over the long term? Yes. And create an ROI that doesn't involve me as the owner babysitting everybody, right? And that's the constant conversation. And I think, recruiting is the start of that, so that's where I hear initially the biggest pain. But as we work with them, we usually work with them for 3 to 5 years, we start to go down this like HR path where it's you're realizing like, you might be a roofing business. It's no longer about being the best roofer. You have to be a good leader of people. And if you don't take time understanding that as you grow, you'll always just be roofing roofs. But to be able to pull away and look at yourself as, hey, our product isn't necessarily the shingles we put down, but it's the people in the organization. That is what we deliver to the marketplace. That type of focus is vitally important to grow.
I think that's so important. And I think it's a part that is totally overlooked a lot of the times. And it causes people to fail and not to get where they want to go.
Yeah, I mean, we are currently in a new recession. It's not the one we expected a year and a half ago.
True, yes.
We're in the recession of people.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how it was so opposite and so counterintuitive to what we were expecting, right? In 2008, there was very little money to go around, or very little people that were willing to spend, but there were still billions of dollars in transactions flying through the air every single year, but we had to figure out how to reach up there and grab it. And I would say we've become a little bit obsessed as a culture to continue figuring out how do we do more sales and marketing, how do we do more sales and marketing. But when I talk to people coming in, they're like, we have more work than we can handle, but we cannot find a great people to scale this thing without just me doing everything for them. And it's because we've shifted. We're not in the recession of dollars anymore. We just printed 40% of all dollars in the economy, I think, ever printed in the U.S. economy last year.
Wow.
It's probably gone up since then.
Yes.
We're in the recession of people because there's more money in the marketplace than there is people to do the work, right? And the housing market and the real estate market has felt that more than most because there's speculation in that. And there's been this huge lift in value, which is now all borrowable, which people can put back into their homes. So yes, roofing's a part of it and storms are a part of this, but I see the bigger perspective of all these other contractors, and it's universal.
Yes.
They can't find people because they have more money than there is people to do it.
We're seeing, same thing. I mean, our classified ads on Roofers Coffee Shop continue to grow. We have so many people on there looking for labor, looking for crews, and I think, you know, they're looking for any way to do it, and a lot of it all comes back down to culture. And that's why one of the reasons we, with our contractors in the R Club, we're always saying, get a directory, show your culture, show your pictures, because really when it comes to recruitment, people can be selective now on where they want to work and who they want to work with.
The best candidates will interview you just as much, if not more, than you're going to interview them. And if you don't see that or accept that, you're always going to struggle, right? So actually, one of the big things we teach people is how to market and sell to your candidates versus just your customers, right?
I love that.
And how do you build a brand that speaks to them? And if you look at even like our website, it's hard to find because at the bottom, but we basically have a recruiting section that is, we spent $7,000 on a video. We interviewed all of our staff. We went through like what the experience is like. Every single job posting is custom written and thought through from a copy perspective about what are the needs of this ideal candidate, and how do we basically silently sell that in the ads themselves. Instead of just posting about what we want and what we care about, we post about what they want and what they care about, and draw them in from there.
That is, I was just having that discussion with another big manufacturer. Like, go out and interview your people, find out why they wanted the job, and then use that.
Totally.
Not because half the time management doesn't know.
Totally.
And so, okay, speaking of this giving back of to the industry, to your contractors and stuff, you've just come out with a new product, and it's called Contractor Quick Tools. How is that? Talk about that and how that can be giving back.
Sure. So for a lot of years, we built from inside out. So we've built the most kick-ass product, I'd argue, and bias, best product in the industry. I think it's amazing, and nobody gets to see it until they become a customer.
Right.
And I'm always spending my time trying to explain it.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. So what we decided to do is we created 10 really cool tools based on the biggest needs of the industry that you guys can download, have instructions on a walkthrough. There's a video walkthrough on it, a example file, a template you can create your own version off of. So this is things like budget sheets, job descriptions, bonus packages, all this stuff that people think about. We've just templated a nice, easy to do process where you actually follow step 1, step 2, step 3. You work through your worksheet and then you finish the process. And I think there's like 8 to 12 page job description that you can basically take, edit to your liking, and away you go. There's a fully built budget to go budget versus actuals on year over year and start to analyze where you can make more money. All these little tools are quick and simple, but they're effective and they're out for free. So
they're
completely free. And
so people can go in there and kind of get a taste.
Yeah.
And first of all, get something good for their company. So even if they never did join, they still have something good. But it really, once you get that taste, you kind of want more.
Totally.
Yeah.
The idea for us, I mean, very logically, is it's hard to fully understand Breakthrough Academy, and giving them an example of what we do and giving them some free versions of what we do is, I would say, the best form of marketing. Right?
Yeah.
You don't want to just yell and tell people that you're great. You want to prove it.
Yes.
Right? And that's a good start.
That's good. And you've been doing a lot of video, a new video cast. Talk about that a little bit.
Sure. So on top of doing that, we also started something called Contractor Evolution, which is a show, and it's got a video component, obviously podcast component. All of our webinars are up there now, and it's a pretty impressive bank of knowledge in the last 2 or 3 months that we've actually launched it. And if you're into just, while you're driving, having a really good podcast to listen to, or you want a bank of knowledge of previous webinars that you can really sink your teeth into, labeled nicely, you want to go through some articles, you want some downloads and resources to kind of use in your business, we basically built a freemium version of what we do with our clients and done it in a way that the public can consume and get something out of it. And so, yeah, it's called Contractor Evolution. My business partner and a guy named Benji are the hosts.
Yeah.
And they're incredible. They're funny. They're very insightful. And yeah, if you're looking for something to listen to that is about business and contracting, this one is a pretty good one.
Put it together.
Yeah.
And all of this is available. We are launched with the Contractor Quick Tools being launched this week. That will all be on Roofers Coffee Shop with links to get to the site to find those free amazing resources. And also Contractor Evolution, we have that on the playlist. So you can find it in a lot of ways. You need to get to breakthrough. The last thing I wanted to just kind of share here is you also do something really cool with all your contractors pre-COVID and now hopefully after it, where you bring them together every year. Just real quick, some of the fun things you've done.
Sure. So I'm a big believer in just like you could sit in a conference room and I would say slowly rot and die because it's just boring. I get bored. I'm too ADD.
Yeah.
So we try our best to get them out doing things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll take them out, snowmobiling, dog sled races, ice climbing in the winter. So we do all these cool adventure activities followed by, an award ceremony and some in-depth time together. Summertime, we'll fly them out to the middle of nowhere, drop them off by a river, and we do a 3-day rafting trip down and talk business in between our stops. We went to northern Saskatchewan and did a couple-day fishing derby, and so we float planed into these islands in the middle of nowhere, no internet service, and started a generator when we did want to do a bit of a conference with our projector off of Jenny. So, we try and take what the traditional conference experience would be and bring it outdoors and bring it into, you can do more bucket list activities with us.
I love that so much. If you were a contractor, again, real quick, what kind of contractor should be really looking at this?
People we work with in roofing specifically are usually between 2 and I'd say 20 million. Okay. It's not a hard and fast rule, but I see that's where the issues of like HR and management of people and numbers and processes starts to really come up. We look for people who are open-minded. It takes a lot to be able to do this. It takes a lot of mental thought and some change on your own part to do this. A lot of the guys we work with are pretty ADD. Not all of them, but a lot of them are, and they're idea-driven people that need more help with implementation.
Yes.
They might have some implementers in the office, but they can't get it coordinated enough to make it real. And so we're very good at getting that put in place. And I think at the end of the day, like just to be very open-minded, to be able to be willing to share. So not with everybody, but we put them in select groups where they're sharing with 3 to 4 other companies, their financials, their margins, everything every 2 weeks. And they're held accountable to that, and they have other peers that they can now collaborate with in a very deep way, but non-competitive because they're somewhere else in the country.
In the coffee conversations we just had, we were talking about what to do for the next 18 months, how you should prepare for the next 18 months, and I would say your first stop should be visiting Breakthrough Academy because it is going to give you a lot of the tools. If you fit that, if you're ready for a change, if you're ready to work on your business instead of in your business, that's what's happening. So, Danny, thank you.
Thanks for having me, Heidi.
Thank you for being a part of the coffee shop and for everything you're doing.